you struggling with bar chords? If you are, you're definitely not alone. Hundreds of people have used the system I'm about to show you, and it works every time. Let's do this. Hi, I'm Thomas Michaud from Real Guitar Success, where I help you learn guitar, and more importantly, to help you love your guitar learning journey. If I had to come up with one issue that seems to come up the most, it'd be learning the F chord. And the main issue I see with students learning the F chord is they try to jump right into something that's very difficult without any preparation or any steps along the way. So in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step system for mastering the F chord. And when I'm done with that, I have some important tips that I want to give you. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, there is one time this system didn't work for me. I tried to teach it to Marco Polo. Maybe I should have started off with some of the easier chords. But in any case, it's going to work for you. So let's start off with the first step. The main key in the F chord that we're going to use is getting this, what we call a partial bar. You're playing two notes at once on the first fret of the guitar, the first and second strings. Now you can press down the two strings together and do it like this, and it works. I can get both strings to sound. But when you do the rest of the chord, that's going to be difficult. What you want to do is make a small bar by pushing the second knuckle up in the air and collapsing slightly that first knuckle right there. So it takes practice, and that's the thing that I think students get impatient, and they think after trying it 2 or 3 times they should be able to do it and make the full chord. But that's not usually the way it works. The people who get this work at that over and over. So practice just this, even in preparation maybe. Play the 2 notes, get the knuckle up in the air, and buckle that first knuckle. The second step is to add the second finger, and here's where you can start telling if it's going to work or not. When you add the second finger on the second fret of the third string, you're making an actual chord. When you play these 3 notes, that's an F chord. And you could use that as long as you didn't play the 4th note, the 4th string. So try it with me. Make your little partial bar, put your second finger down on the second fret, and see if it all sounds. If it doesn't, work it around a little bit. See if you can get it, and then take it off, shake it out, and try it again. Now work on this for a little while before you actually try to play the whole bar chord. And as you get this, as it gets more easy and more comfortable, you're going to find when you add more fingers, it's not a big thing. A couple of tips right here. You may want to angle that first finger just a little bit, as opposed to straight down like this. Though the more you can get it this way, the easier it'll be to get the rest of the fingers in there. The second thing is, you don't have to have that knuckle really way high in the air. I sometimes exaggerate that because students do it the opposite. But you're looking for something a little more in the air than drop down behind the neck. So now to step number 3. Once you've practiced the 3-string F chord with the first 2 fingers, and then put the 3rd finger on, and you can play a 4-string bar chord, you'll want to practice changing to other chords. I recommend you using the C chord because it's a very common change. So a simple exercise could be just strum twice on the C chord and then go to that F chord. Now at this point, you've already practiced the partial F, the 3rd finger F, and you're practicing the movement going from one to the other. You'll also want to start working to get all the fingers down at one time as opposed to one at a time. When you're actually playing, you don't have time to put one finger down at a time. And with practice, you'll find your fingers naturally go to all the strings at once. Now for a few overall tips to help you with this. Some people find it easier to actually learn the full bar chord F first. The way to do that, if you're so inclined, is to practice just the bar first in the same way. Matter of fact, I would start practicing the bar at the same time you're learning the partial bar F, and do that for a week or so. Then when you go to make the full bar chord, you'll find it much easier. I've also created some exercises and some other tips on learning bar chords, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. Another tip is to go ahead and learn a much easier form of the F chord, which I'll show you right now. This is called an F add 9. It looks like the partial bar F without the bar. So I'm putting my first finger on the second fret of the second string. On the 3rd string, I've got the second finger. And the 4th string, I'm using my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. Then the pinky goes on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. It's a very useful chord and sounds particularly good on acoustic guitar because of all the open strings. It's the same chord I used in that intro to this video. So I'll play that again. Another version of this is if you take off the pinky, it makes an F major 7. Now, we usually think of major 7s as something for jazz guitar, but it works particularly good in a progression like this. That's actually an F major 7, but it sounds good. And it can be used sometimes in place of the F. You have to use your ear and see if it sounds right. One advantage of learning this chord and using it, either the F add 9 or the F major 7, is that you're part of the way there to making that partial bar. Once you add the little partial bar, it becomes a straight F chord. The next tip is, you should know that every student feels frustrated and often seems to have some self-talk that there's something wrong with them, why they can't do this. I'm here to tell you that everyone has been able to do this that has stuck with it long enough. Everyone. And you will too. It's just a matter of sticking with it, not taking your thoughts too seriously, and just keep moving on and taking it step by step. Not trying to play the whole thing all at once with too many things going on. Break it down to pieces, work on the pieces, and put them back together. In short, persistence pays off every time, except if you're a dog like Marco Polo. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, learning guitar is a journey, not a destination. Please let me know in the comments how I can better help you to love your journey. Bye for now.